Do I look like a small budget, casual first date?
Taking a girl on a walk is not a date. And I can't believe I even have to say this.
I think guys are becoming a little too cautious around women, not in a good way.
Nobody wants to go to a family holiday with me. Why? Why? I dressed cute. I smell good.
But where are all the emotionally available, loving, protective men?
Today, we're breaking down what happens when expectations meet reality, and reality swipes left. This is modern dating unfiltered, entitlement, ego, and why more and more men are walking away. Like the vid, drop a comment with your worst first date story, and hit that sub button. Because we're exposing the truth, one delusion at a time. Let's dive in.
Okay, hi, this video is for men. I'm gonna be telling you how to ask a girl out on a date. Are you ready?
No. That's like asking the fish for tips on how to catch it. I'll stick with the fisherman's advice. Thanks.
I did not realize that the advice of women carried such little value in 2025. I'm freaking shocked. Like, that's all I have to say. I'm shocked. I am shocked. I'm just shocked. I did not think that this was going to be a thing. I thought, oh no, like, men will take the advice of women on dating women. No, they won't. They're like, we don't want to listen to women. Women are emotional. Women are this, that, and the other. I'm just like, so you want to date them, but you don't value any of their opinions. What? I'm so confused. One guy said, we don't ask the fish for their opinion. Like, fishermen don't ask fish for their opinion. I'm like, they probably would if the fish could talk and wanted to get caught. Like, I'm assuming you're hitting on women who want it, or like you're going into like the dating pool, right? I hope you're not harassing women who have no interest in dating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just shocked, y'all. I am just surprised.
Damn, did she just call me out? Look, it's not that men don't want to listen to women's advice, but there's a difference between what people think they want and what actually attracts them. Often, the advice women give comes from their perspective of what should work, like being super nice, emotionally available all the time, or putting her on a pedestal. But in reality, attraction doesn't always work in a logical checklist way. If a man listens only to women who aren't even dating men successfully themselves, he might end up behaving in ways that don't command respect. Not because he's a bad guy, but because he's following advice that ignores how attraction actually plays out. That's why it makes more sense to learn from men who are successful in dating, who understand both perspectives, what women say, but also what works.
Would you rather $100 or a date with me?
Dating today feels so exhausting. Like, everyone says that they want real connection, but no one is really putting themselves out there. And like, serious question, and I'm not asking for a friend, I'm asking for me, but where are all the emotionally available, loving, protective men? Please let me know where. I'm saying it again. I am not asking for a friend, I'm asking for me.
They're either married, fictional, or hiding in the same Bermuda Triangle where all the socks and Tupperware lids disappear. Are there protective men? Loving? Emotionally available? Yeah, those come bundled with a charger, a user manual, and a waiting list longer than the DMV. But hey, keep the faith. Maybe they will soon come out.
I canceled our date as he was coming because of what he said. He suggested a restaurant I didn't like. It wasn't bad, but it's not a first date restaurant. For me, the first date is supposed to be really good because I don't know your potential yet. I don't know if you're good enough yet. I have to have a really good time. And then if I like it and then I like you, then I'll see. So I sent him another restaurant and I told him, how about this one instead? And then he was like, no. He was like, this is a third date, maybe occasion restaurant. You know, it's not a first date thing. Do I look like a small budget, casual first date girl? Like, how confused are you? How confused are you? Like, everything about me, my profile, whatever, everything you can see. You can tell anybody, nobody makes that mistake. You slide in my DM. You do it because you know I am insanely evil. Evil, as in like, I'm not somebody who, like, you want something normal and humble and modest with. There's girls who want very just like a man and they just want to settle down with any man, whatever. I'm definitely not given this. So for him, when he said, I was like, what the fuck? I never heard of that. What do you mean this is not a first date? What do you mean by that? Like, I am the occasion. I am the biggest occasion you'll ever see in your life. What do you mean this is not a first date occasion, maybe a third date occasion thing or something special? I am the special.
You said, I am the occasion. But ma'am, occasions usually bring joy, not ultimatums. You want first date fireworks, gourmet menus, and luxury vibes without even proving your wife material yet? That man dodged a financial landmine. And by canceled the date, what you really meant was, he didn't simp hard enough. It's not compromise if the man brings value to. That's called relationship. If all you're bringing is expectations, then yes, you're the occasion for him to run away. Pick your own league. He's doing exactly that. And he chose not to play in the one where the entry fee is ego and entitlement a la carte.
Dear God, life find love this way.
I am convinced that 90% of our issues today would completely disappear if women all stood together just once and for all and we stopped entertaining these men.
The male loneliness epidemic is hilarious because the cure is to not be an unlikable piece of shit. Like the sadness prison that you put yourself in, the keys are in your pocket, buddy.
Funny how compassion goes out the window when it's men struggling.
Taking a girl on a walk is not a date. And I can't believe I even have to say this. It is low effort. You put zero thought into it. If I wanted to go on a hot girl walk, I would call one of my girlfriends. Like I will go with the girlies. Like, I'm not going on a hot girl walk with you, King. That's not a hot girl walk. A date is something that you actually have to plan. A date is something that you are investing a certain amount financially into it. It doesn't have to be a ton, but something. So, for example, if you wanted to go on a walk and then have a picnic, right? You have a couple snacks, maybe bring like some music you can listen to. Like, oh, this is a perfect view for a sunset. Like, let's put a little thought into it. Even for the people that are balling on a budget, I'm sorry, but even a guy that has no money, like if he wanted to, he would. He will find a way to figure it out. He will find a way to make it special for you. But if a man is trying to take you on a walk, girl, run, not toward him, away.
Let's not act like a peaceful stroll with actual conversation is beneath you, because your inner influencer needs background music and curated snacks. Here's the thing. Men aren't trying to save money, we're trying to filter out who wants love versus who wants lobster. Because if a dude plans a sunset walk with music, snacks, and a view, and he still gets dismissed because it didn't involve a dress code in a restaurant, you weren't looking for romance, you were looking for reimbursement. And don't get me started on if he wanted to, he would. Queen, if we all did what we wanted to, 80% of men would be texting you from their PlayStation while eating cereal out of a mixing bowl. So, no, walks aren't low effort, they're previews. If you can't vibe on a walk, why would we waste money on a steak?
So I just saw a video that pissed me off, and it was a guy saying that women should approach men. First off. Second off, we're basically enforcing men being women and women being men. Because even if you put your ego aside and approach a man, I don't even want the man anymore. Why would I want a man that's in the corner going, oh, well, if she approaches me, then that's good, and if not, whatever. Ew! I want a hunter. I want a guy that's like, I want that. And I'm gonna get that. And if you get rejected, who cares? Men that can handle rejection? Oof. Hot. Why are we selling this narrative? What an ick.
No man with options is sitting in a corner waiting to be picked like a build-a-boyfriend. He's out there building his life, his money, his mission, and if a woman chooses to shoot her shot, it's not because he's weak. It's because she recognizes value. This isn't about switching roles. It's about dropping the ego. You want a confident man? Cool. But confident men aren't begging for validation. They're watching how you move too. The ick isn't that women approach. It's thinking men should audition for a role you haven't even cast properly.
I think guys are becoming a little too cautious around women, not in a good way. Let me try to explain. So it's almost like they don't see any green lights anymore. They just watch out for red lights. So they're interacting with you and they're just looking out for things that appear that you're not interested so that they can run away, or they don't even approach you in the first place. But if they approach you, they are like very cautious. They're trying to be careful. It's almost like they are I don't even understand it, right? And then when you eventually start talking and everything, they're still cautious, they're still scared. So it's like, what line do you draw between, ensuring that you feel the woman's need to be desired and, respect for her body and her person? Like, I don't know, it's a complicated thing to explain because it's something that it just occurred to me and I'm trying to put it in words. So yeah, it's almost like the masculinity, that boldness is no longer there. They're just careful, scared unto themselves. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense? Because that's the only way I can explain it at the moment. If I understand this thing more, I'll explain it again, but let me know what you think.
We hear you. You're saying men these days are too cautious. But can you blame men? These days, saying hi, I think you're beautiful, might land us in a TikTok expose titled, Creepy Dude Alert. We're not seeing green lights anymore, just red flags, legal warnings, and HR flashbacks. Masculinity isn't gone, it's just buffering, trying to avoid becoming someone's villain of the week. We're not scared of women, we're scared of misreading women. So yeah, we're careful. Because these days, boldness without a signed permission slip is a liability.
Okay, it's nothing. It's trash. The dating pool is trash. 40 plus, trash. Straight downhill. But let's talk about some common icks, okay? Emotional intelligence, right? You would think whenever you start getting into the 40 plus club that there'd be some emotional intelligence. No, that's not true. That is not true at all. Not true at all. I dated a guy who literally I felt like I was just banging my head against a wall anytime that there was conflict. And I'd try and talk through it with him, and it was just like literally banging my head against the wall. I'm like, this is pointless. This is pointless. How can you be 40 whatever and lack emotional intelligence? If you had anything going for you, I would think it'd be emotional intelligence when you're in your 40s. No, not this guy. Second ick, someone that just agrees with everything that you say. Like, I was talking to one guy, and every single time that I would say something, he would agree with it. I don't want someone agreeing with me all the time. I want someone like pushing my buttons and calling me out and challenging my thought process. Like, if I wanted someone to agree with me all the time, I don't know. Like, my kids don't even agree with me all the time. I need someone to challenge my thought process. So, 2 icks. What are your icks? What are your icks? What are your dating icks?
Dating in 2025 where emotional intelligence means he better read my mind, and being agreeable means he has no spine. You say men in their 40s have no emotional depth, but also hate when they try to keep the peace. So what do you actually want? A therapist? Or a sparring partner? Maybe the dating pool isn't trash. Maybe you're just fishing in the shallow end, expecting a deep-sea catch.
Okay, these are some things that I think that men should do for their women, our partner. If you were in a relationship and you're a man, these are some things that you should be doing. Number 1, opening doors. It's really not that hard. It's really not that hard. Why are you opening a door and going in first? No, thank you. Absolutely not. Number 2, reach for the bill every time. I'm not saying you have to pay every time, but you should be reaching for the bill every time as if you're going to pay up every time. Buy your girl flowers. I'm not talking about all the time, but if you were in a relationship and you haven't gotten your girl flowers yet, literally get out. You're not worthy of her. Doing things without us asking you to do them. Do the laundry, clean the bathrooms, wash the sheets, do the dishes. We do that all the time without you having to ask us or tell us. So maybe you try doing it for once. If you were walking down the street with your girl and you are not on the outside, the closest to the street, get out. You better be on the outside.
Ma'am, is this a date or a hostage negotiation? Most good men want to do nice things. We do open doors, grab the bill, and buy flowers. But the way you're delivering it, like we're getting graded in boyfriend boot camp, it's giving more drill sergeant than soulmate. And that whole, we do all this without being asked? Sure, and we unclog drains, carry heavy things, fix random noises in the car, and pretend we're not dying inside when you say, do you even know what you did? The truth is, love is mutual service, not a checklist of unpaid internships. You want flowers? Cool. We want peace, loyalty, and to not be screamed at because we used the wrong towel. So yes, we'll reach for the bill. But how about you reach for balance?
If my husband ever asked me what was for dinner, assuming that I was going to make it for him, immediate divorce.
Nobody wants to date me. I want to date you. I find you really attractive and I think that we should go out. Go away.
Sometimes I wonder if the dating life was this bad like 20 years ago, because it's like, I don't know how to explain it, y'all. But I really don't understand how any of these men are gonna get married one day, because it's like they always sexualize us, or like don't want to take us serious at all. Like they just want to be friends with benefits until they're like 40. Like, and I go out, guys. I go out. I go to the gym. I do things outside. I go to school, and I still don't see anybody or meet anybody. So I'm like confused. Like, where the hoes? Where the hoes? Where the hoes?
20 years ago, men were still men. The difference? Back then, nobody called every mildly confident dude toxic or a red flag with sneakers. It's not that men don't value commitment. It's that commitment has turned into a legal gamble with terrible odds. You want men to take marriage seriously? Cool. But society has to stop treating men like walking ATMs the moment things go sideways. Modern dating isn't dead. It's just on life support from too many games and zero accountability.
The crazy thing about the whole male loneliness epidemic is that men know what they need to do to get women. It's not that hard to figure out. They just hate that it would mean conceding to a matriarchy. They want women, but they also want women in a dynamic where they have the power. It's not just about wanting women. Like, they want to have women, but they want to also be in control of that woman. So it's less about them being lonely. It's more about them feeling like they're needing to concede the power that they felt like they were promised their entire lives. We're telling them to put in effort, whether that's effort in like their emotional maturity or the way they look, the way they present themselves, whatever. And they don't like that because they feel entitled to women. They feel like they shouldn't have to put in effort, at least, especially not as much effort as women have to put into themselves in order to get women. If you look at the women, or if you look at the men that women like lust after, it's usually men, like in terms of public figures. I just saw a video of Pedro Pascal. It's men that stick up for things that are right. Pedro Pascal is obviously a beautiful man, but it's men that are comfortable with their masculinity. It's men that don't feel threatened by femininity. It's men that stand up for what's right and stands up for people who are marginalized or people who don't have as loud of a voice. But these men insist on clinging on to these patriarchal structures. And it's because they want women in the context of having power over a woman. They don't want a woman just in general. They don't want a woman as an equal partner. They want a woman that they can control and feel better and stronger than. Because in their mind, that's what it means to be masculine. That's what being a man means. And that's what we've all been indoctrinated into and what we've all been taught. But as much as we're trying to teach them that we need to break down this conditioning, they do not want to break it down because it's not convenient for them to do so. Because it sacrifices a lot of their identity. It's not that they don't understand, it's just the truth is very inconvenient for them. Okay, the truth would be like conceding to what women want out of men would be conceding to accepting us as equals. And that's not something that they're willing to do.
You're saying men aren't lonely. They're just mad they can't rule a kingdom of yoga pants and compliance. That we don't want partners, we want minions, and that effort scares us. And Pedro Pascal? Apparently, he's the final boss of emotionally available masculinity. Look, we're not denying some guys need to level up. Emotionally, physically, even spiritually. But let's not act like dating in 2025 is some clear-cut moral test. You want a man who's fit, funny, makes 6 figures, supports social justice, cries at the right moments, and cooks Michelin star meals, but also must not expect anything in return or he's entitled. Men aren't allergic to equality. We're allergic to double standards dressed in TED Talk energy.
Are there any men left in this entire universe that prefer a woman in her 40s with a natural body?
Things I don't want to do anymore as a single woman. Carry the groceries. Carry them. They're really heavy today, and I don't want to do it. I got little arms, and I don't want to do it.
I invited 3 guys to Easter. 3. I figured, let's just try. I'm so sick of showing up to family holidays alone. I only know 3 people. Let's invite all 3, and whatever happens, happens. Let the chips fall where they may. I really thought 1 out of 3 would take the bait. Nobody wants to go to a family holiday with me. Why? Why? I dressed cute. I smell good. There's free food and conversation, fuckers. What the fuck? Just come meet my fucking family and hang out with me. I'm lonely and I'm sick of showing up alone. I have so much to offer. So does my family. God, what the fuck? This is so stupid. Not even 1 out of 3. I'm honestly shocked I know 3 people, but not one of them would say yes? Fuck. What the fuck? Meet my fucking family and eat their food. Shit.
Maybe, just maybe, if 3 different guys all ghosted the come meet my entire family on a major holiday invite, the issue ain't the holiday. Modern dating ain't about free food, it's about peace. And nothing screams red flag louder than a woman using emotional bait to force commitment vibes from 3 dudes at once. You've reached the end of the video, which means you survived the madness. But here's the deal. The more we talk about it, the more men wake up. So hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your hottest take in the comments below. See you in the next one.